She said, let's go outside and smoke. And I said, I don't do that. She said, don't be a joke. I said, well, maybe I can start. She said, I thought you were the smart one. Guess I had you wrong since day one. I said, I'm smart about some things. She said, yeah, like what? Name one. And I said, well, at least I'm not a headache. At least I'm easy on the heart. And she said, oh, but I love you a lot. And I said, I love you too. It's good to know that you're ridiculous. She said, I am, you're worse than me. I said, probably. Yeah, probably. She said, come on, just take one drag. I said, okay, but just one puff. She said, see, now was that so bad? I said, it tastes like burning stuff. She laughed and called me so dramatic. I said, you're terrible for my health. She said, but aren't I fun though? I said, yeah, when you're being yourself. She said, at least I'm not predictable. At least I get you out your head. And I said, yeah, you drive me crazy. She said, good, that's the goal instead. You're lucky that I think you're funny. I said, we're